A little warning before we begin. This video is going to deal with some touchy, triggering topics such as self-harm, sexual assault, and TikTok React YouTubers. If you don't like any of those things, if they mess with you, click off. What's up, everyone? It's been a while since I did a little drama commentary video. The last one was DK Oldies, so you know this one's going to be good. Nick is Not Green is a commentary channel. The best way I can describe his content, it's somewhere in between Jarvis Johnson, Little Big Joel, and Critical, except like not as funny as any of those three. He is also someone who has recklessly used his platform within the past few months to weaponize a man's suicide. By the way, this video isn't going to be really well made. I got like 2 days to edit it. So, and Spider-Man just came out. Like, bruh, it's this or Save New York. What do you expect of me? For backstory, a few months ago, the comedy duo and domestic terrorist organization SuperMega was canceled. I don't want to get too much into it because it's a bit of a minefield. To keep it short, their former friend, Lex Updog, had been sexually assaulted by Don, their former channel artist. Where it gets tricky is that she claimed SuperMega covered it up, which turned out not to be true, and she also added a bunch of other stuff into the video that was unrelated, a lot of claims that were very serious. Another issue is that some of her friends Layden and Morgpie took advantage of the assault to air out their own grievances of SuperMega and come forward with other false claims. Now, I don't want to take anything away from Lex's story. At the end of the day, while SuperMega did not cover the sexual assault up, they also handled it like a bunch of man-children instead of like, you know, contracting out an HR person to deal with it. Like, Matt can't even handle a cockroach. Why the hell did he try to handle an SA case? And while myself and a lot of people don't want to take anything away from Lex's allegations towards Dawn or towards SuperMega, the claims outside of that were either missing context, embellishments, or just outright lies. On top of that, her and Layden dragged people into the story who did not consent to being dragged into the story, such as current and former girlfriends and Matt and Ryan's former friend, Daniel. Now, Daniel had a channel with Ryan and later Matt joined called Cyndago. Daniel is a victim of suicide who tragically passed a few years ago. To honor his memory, Ryan left one last video on the channel before ending that project and starting a new one with Matt, which is we formerly known as SuperMega, aka the Funny Brothers. I need to stop making shit up in this video. People who aren't fans are going to think it's real. To reiterate, I do not want to take anything from Lex's story. It is up to you to decide whether you think her actions are justifiable or not. As someone who knows SA victims, I can't say Lex wasn't justified in lashing out in the way she did. But as someone who knows people who have committed suicide and people who have tried to commit suicide, I also can't say that she wasn't wrong. I suggest everyone go watch her video and watch SuperMega's and watch Ryan's, and you can, you know, choose who you think is in the right for yourself. That being said, I think Matt and Ryan's response to the situation was pretty mature. I'm surprised considering this is who we're talking about. Spaghetti, spaghetti, spaghetti. They take accountability for their mistakes while also drawing boundaries where they felt needed to be drawn. But this video isn't about Lex. It's about Nick. And Nick signal boosted Lex's story on his platform. I would like to repeat that Matt and Ryan did not commit this sexual assault. They did not cover it up. They did not try and defend Don. They fired him and cut contact with him. They just took too long to get from point A to point B, and then for some reason did this weird fucky K-turn in the middle of it. Even before Matt's response video, he was referring to Matt as a rape apologist, which is just like, no. I mean, regardless if you thought all of that was true, at the end of the day, they still fired Don. Like, they in no way tried to defend his actions. But as we'll see later in this video, Nick doesn't really know what that word means. Now, before we move on, I don't think I really stressed this enough with my original recording, so I'm kind of doing it here in post. I think Nick's follow-up video was actually done pretty well. I do think he admits to a lot of his shortcomings in his original video, and I think more importantly, he agrees that he should not have added Layden or Morgpie to it. That being said, it's not perfect. He has a few L takes in there. There's this one part where for whatever reason he's trying to like justify fans harassing Matt's ex-girlfriend and his current girlfriend. He also at the end states that of course he wasn't going to look into all of the facts because his friend was hurt, which doesn't really make any sense as to why he would add in Morgpie's and Layden's accusations on top of that, which is even worse because in his response video, he states that he doesn't like that Ryan and Matt included their rebuttals to those claims along with their apology to Lex. And it's like, okay, well, you packaged all of that up into one video, but like it's wrong for them to do it. I know that he apologized for it, but still, it's a weird bit of hypocrisy. Now, after this whole mess, we hadn't heard anything from Ryan or Matt until this week, where Ryan created a twit longer stating that he was not okay with how Daniel's death was brought to the situation, stating that he doesn't want to take away from Lex's assault, but that he felt like neither her nor Nick have taken accountability for bringing Daniel into the situation. He also stated that people had left a lot of hate comments under his final video on Cyndago, which was a video celebrating Daniel's life, and basically anything that was not related to that would have been very inappropriate. Even if everything they said was true, it still would have been extremely inappropriate. That is probably a video that his family members have watched. Now, how do you think Nick responded? Well, surprisingly, he stated that he still detests SuperMega and what they did to his friend, but he in no way condones leaving inappropriate comments under a video to celebrate the life of a suicide victim. Oh, wait, sorry. That would have been a response that literally took nothing away from the situation while also taking accountability. No, instead what he did is he decided to be a big man. He decided to be a tough little guy. He decided not to give a frick and make an Insta story of him acting so tough. He's such a tough guy. My little guy beating all the soy allegations. So let's dissect this a little. He starts by calling anyone who is trying to criticize him at the moment a rape defender. Again, I don't think he knows what the term rape apologist means. Imagine putting someone who's just simply concerned with the treatment of a person's suicide in the same category as like old geezer white people judges who are like, I'm sorry, girl. I know that linebacker was 3 times your size, but goddamn, he's in my fantasy football draft. He then says that if Ryan wants to be uncanceled, he should upload a video. But wait, I thought you wanted to cancel Matt and Ryan. I thought you wanted them to take accountability. Now you're saying that they should start uploading videos again? What do you think taking accountability is, Nick? I would really like to know, because from what I've seen of your content, it just means basically shutting up and letting people dogpile you and say whatever bad thing they want about you. That seems to be what your definition of taking accountability is. Man, Carson, you shouldn't have donated all of your earnings for an entire year to charity. Fuck you. That's not taking accountability, you moron. You're just supposed to shut up and let everyone make fun of you. He makes this weird statement insulting viewers for mindlessly and endlessly fighting for people they don't know. But wait, isn't that what you wanted people to do for Lex? Like, you shamed anyone for even questioning her story. That's mindlessly fighting for someone. So now that it's being pointed towards you, you don't like it? Like, you're a loser. You're a loser if you do it towards me. You're just supposed to do what I say and let me weaponize my fan base and use you for whatever I want you to do. You're not supposed to actually question it or look at me. If you do that, you're a loser, you little idiot. I don't think someone following this train of logic has a good opinion of their fan base. Like, I just don't. I think their fan base is just a tool to them if they can't like handle or refute legitimate criticism thrown at them. There's another statement in this that's just completely untrue, saying that none of SuperMega's friends stood up for them. This is another bit of misinformation that was spread during their cancellation, something that Nick would have known if he paid attention to them at all after the fact. Basically, it was stated that 2 of SuperMega's friends / former employees had completely cut contact with them after Lex's allegations. Their former channel artist denied this a few weeks ago, stating that they had actually been visiting Ryan frequently. Ryan's post also has support from some really big friends and collaborators of theirs. Modest Off Trevor, iDubbbz, Meat Cannon, and world famous white rapper Ben Beal. And of course, me. Go get a job and stop being obsessed, losers. Well, guess what, Nick? I have a full-time job and I do YouTube. I'm doing twice as much as you. And my videos are funnier. My girlfriend said so. While we're on this job topic, I would like to direct you guys over to Ryan's video. So if we look under the comments here, there's this guy named Logan who has made multiple accounts to spam hate comments. This doesn't seem like the behavior of someone who has a job or has like any spare time to value. Like if you're doing something like this, you're probably a 12-year-old who's unemployed and just wants something to, be mean to. Nick himself seems like someone who has never worked an actual job before either. He's criticizing people for not immediately taking Lex's side and criticizing SuperMega for not immediately firing Don. But how do you think an HR department works? They have to open up an investigation, but by your standards, that would make them defenders. There's this other weird comment in here, like, should you not believe someone if their friends and peers aren't standing up for them? I know people who have lost friendships over SA allegations. Should I not believe them? Well, their friends didn't stand up for them, so goddamn, my draft league is saved. Hell yeah! Would like to point out this comment that Luke, Funny Mega's former podcast editor, made in response to Nick. It's just golden. To summarize, this response in no way takes accountability. It is filled with blatant lies and demeans anyone trying to hold Nick responsible. And Nick should be held responsible. His video has more views than anyone else's on the topic. It has almost 300k more than Lex's, which is now unlisted. But his video also gave a platform to Layden and Morgpie, two individuals that we now know were lying about a lot. He should be held accountable for a lot of the harm that came out of his video, because most people probably heard the story from him. And by accountability, I'm not saying he should be deplatformed. I'm saying he should just show some form of compassion for incidentally sending these depraved lunatics over to Ryan's video. He could just say something as simple as giving the customary YouTube, "Hey guys, don't go and harass this person. Now I'm going to harass them." But that would require a shed of empathy, which I don't think Nick has. I'm going to try my best to say this without sounding like an alt-right cuck. I don't think Nick is someone whose morals align with progressive politics. I think he just likes having moral superiority over people so he can treat them like less than human. He is the epitome of what's wrong with cancel culture. People not actually caring about the issues and just wanting someone to hate and bully and have a valid excuse to do so. Ryan made a mistake, so he deserves to be bullied. His trauma deserves to be made fun of. He deserves to have people act as if they knew his best friend better than he did. He deserves to have a connection, a celebration of his friend's life taken away from him. He made a mistake, and it's so annoying, especially since Nick admitted that he didn't bother to get the facts straight for his video because Lex was his friend. Well, Matt and Ryan were friends with Lex and Dawn. They had a lot of great memories with them. We, the audience, had a lot of great memories with them. One of my favorite episodes of the podcast is the episode with Dawn and Lex in it. That probably all clouded their judgment, and it's not an excuse for what they did, but it's like when your friends are involved, you don't think rationally. Just like you didn't think rationally and unknowingly sent a bunch of troglodytes to harass Matt and Ryan. So before I close out this video, there's something that I forgot to mention while recording, and that is Mr. Tough Guy McBadass over here has been deleting comments off of his subreddit, or, his mods have been deleting comments off of his subreddit because his fans did not find his response to Ryan very tasteful. And if you look right here, it has like 96 comments supposedly, but when you click on it, it's like, I don't know, maybe 20. Another thing is the top posts on this month for his subreddit are people complaining about how more and more mean-spirited his content is. So clearly his fan base isn't very happy with him or how he's treating his subjects. I mean, this is an ongoing issue outside of SuperMega. I like how in Nick's video, he shows a screenshot of SuperMega's channel saying it's not something to be proud of. Like making fun of the fact that they have a bunch of Let's Plays and podcast episodes, just completely ignoring all of the IRL content, unboxings, and the fact that they sponsored a NASCAR or wrote a book. Then Nick's channel, just all commentaries. Like that is somehow more interesting than them finding a deranged psychopath on Truck Simulator. Disclaimer, don't flame Nick. Unless it's funny, then do it. But also take this as the possibility that I'm just a huffing copium and I'm just a disgruntled fan, and I'll probably just have like that post-upload clarity after I do this, just like, oh God, what did I do? Anyways, but for now, damn it, I just want a second book.